Steve, you had a lot of success in the first half. You know, the 10 early points. You didn't get as many shot attempts in the second half. Kind of maybe what went into that? And then also in the late game, how do you feel you could have done better maybe there?
Late game, probably just be a little stronger with the ball, not just kind of throw it up for grabs. And they came down with one or two of them. So I think they're just be stronger with the ball. And then as far as the shots, just I think that's on me, just hunting them a little bit more in the second half. I wasn't necessarily maybe being as aggressive or looking to shoot as much. So I just think that's on me for sure.
Mark, go ahead.
John, looked like Oregon did a pretty good job in terms of making you and your teammates look a little less comfortable offensively. Just can you talk about how they went about that and what were some of the challenges about, trying to execute and run your offense against them defensively in the second half?
Yeah, I just wanted to change things up with, on defense and give us a look of pressure the whole game, full court pressure. So, that was ultimately it. Kind of took us out of our regular flow, and we'll just learn from this.
Mike?
Steve, it's rare that you guys face that type of pressure late in the game, but the turnovers have come in bunches at times this year. I guess, what happens in those moments where you guys just have all those turnovers in a row?
I think just like you said, the pressure maybe gets to us a little bit against those teams that want to get out and deny us and make our lives a little bit more difficult. So like John said, I think it's a good learning experience for us. We'd rather take this one on the chin now than in March. So like you said, we're going to learn from it, watch the film, and get better for sure.
Jim, go ahead, please.
Steve, you guys are pretty old and experienced and been through a lot. Does that help in a time like this when you're trying to get over a loss you probably feel like you should have had?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, for sure. Having a lot of older guys, guys that have been here for a long time. John, who's seen a lot at a lot of different schools. So having guys that have a lot of experience really helps in these situations. And keep going back to it. Like John said, we're going to learn from it tomorrow, watch the film, and get right back to practice and play Tuesday. So.
For both of you, Coach Gard mentioned back on Monday, how tough it is for you guys to kind of emotionally respond. You guys beat Purdue, you guys beat Illinois. How tough is it maybe sometimes when you guys are, on a run in hard-fought emotional games, going to the next game, and then how are you guys kind of in a way going to be able to rebound from that?
I think just every game in the Big Ten is going to be difficult, no matter how you look at it. So we just have the mentality to attack every day. With a focus and not really get caught up in the ins and outs and just how the season is going and what things may look like. It's just day by day, just keep getting better.
Go ahead, way in the back, guys.
John, obviously you guys have been so good at getting to the line this season. What did they do so well defensively in the second half to not allow you guys to get there? I
feel like it's more so on us. I think we could have done a better job being aggressive and getting downhill, to just to not shoot any free throws second half. I think that's kind of on us. Especially, I think I can definitely help out with that as well. So I definitely think that's more so on us.
We'll start out with some opening comments from Coach.
All right, thanks, Dave. Obviously, credit goes to Oregon for making us be very uncharacteristic, specifically the last 8 minutes or so. I thought we, for even most of the second half, we were not nearly as aggressive as we have been, even what we were in the first half. The stats bear it out. When you don't shoot any free throws, you have 17 turnovers, 11 in the second half. You turn the ball over like that when it's a lack of aggression. It's a tentativeness. That I felt we didn't play on our toes and keep the throttle down like we had in the first half. And again, that's credit to Oregon. We didn't attack the pressure. We got us to walk the ball up and play slower. So we'll learn from this and quickly turn the page for Tuesday night. But obviously, really disappointed in the last most of the second half, but specifically the last 6-7 minutes.
Michael?
A lot of the turnovers towards the end of the game were discipline-based. I guess when a team this old and experienced does something like that, what does that mean to you?
It's a lack. Some of them were just simply catch the ball, right? And then again, when I watch so many guys catch the ball and not look at the rim, not be ready to shoot the ball. And again, when you play tentative, and you're not in your attack aggressive mindset like we have been for a long time, then you have a tendency to, you have a tendency to fumble and bumble and throw the ball where you shouldn't throw it, throw the ball that somebody's not ready for it. Those things start adding up. So I think it was all on us. So those are the things we can't get into being a tentative, non-aggressive team. We're really good when we are aggressive, and obviously we stink when we're not.
Mark, go ahead.
Greg, at the end of regulation, you were up 3. I think in times past you've tried to foul in that situation. Were you trying to there, or what was?
We were going to if it got a little lower. I mean, with 18 seconds on the clock, say at one point we were going to, but when he went to pull it almost from the logo, John's got to be up into him more. And we talked about if we see that situation happening, we'll take a foul. But it's a little early to do it with 18. I think we had talked about it even at 27 earlier. But credit Shellstead for he's made those shots before. I've seen 10 of those if I've seen one on film. So it wasn't that stands out. But they get 77 points on 76 possessions, and it's the offensive execution that completely dried up, and we shouldn't have been in that situation. But we got what we deserved, and we got to learn from it and move on.
Jim?
Greg, following that Shellstead three-pointer, you had a chance to call a timeout there. I know you go back and forth with that, right? Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Can you kind of take us through your thought process there?
Yeah, I didn't. We were coming downhill. They're a team that has a tendency to change defenses coming out of timeouts, traps coming out of timeouts. So with a tie game, I was going to let it play out. And then also, we're not in the bonus. So if they get a chance to go reset and use fouls, I didn't want them to have that timeout to talk about that stuff. So combination of things is why I decided not to do it.
Donnie, right up front here, please. Mike?
Late in the second half, when you're in a moment when the team isn't, when offense is pretty hard, why not just give it to Tanji more, given the game that he was having at the end? Kleisman had a shot at the end there at Blackwell. Was there debate about, just give it to Tanji and let him?
Tanji had it a lot. I mean, 20 shots is pretty inefficient. So, he took a lot of tough shots. I thought Bamba did a much better job on him in the second half, was physical, wouldn't let him get daylight. We tried to run some stuff and free him up off things, but Bamba was pretty well locked into him. And then when we did get to the rim, you got Biddle in there too. That was a factor at the rim. So, everybody can obviously second guess it, but John had 20 shots. So the key with John is you need to get the free throw line more. He only shoots 2, and those were obviously in the first half, as all of ours were. I thought we settled for too many things at times, and we got him taking tougher shots, and then we got 4s and 5s that are turning down shots. So, and that puts the pressure back on John to have to take a tougher shot when the rest of us aren't as aggressive as we need to be.
Coach, first half, it seemed like you guys did a good job against Biddle, forcing those 3 fouls. When you talk about aggressiveness, is that kind of where you're pointing to in the second half, trying to get, go against him a little more, get more fouls on him, or what do you kind of point to with that aggressiveness?
Well, it's how when they extended some pressure in the last 6-7 minutes that we stood and looked at it. We broke it a couple times. McGee got loose for a layup. We took that. But we needed to do that more rather than walk the ball up and let the clock eat or get ourselves trapped. And then when we did break it, if we have an advantage, 4-on-2 or 3-on-2 or whatever it is, we needed to play into it more. So that's part of the aggressiveness. Obviously, they went to double Steve in the second half more, so they were forcing the ball out so he wasn't caught in as many or didn't have himself in as many one-on-ones like he did in the first half. So, and then, coming down the stretch, they went to Biddle and he delivered. He made plays. But the aggressiveness in terms of just, like I said, we got way too tentative and hesitant. So that's something we've already talked about it, and we'll watch the film and correct the things and point out the things where we can be more aggressive and why they know why. We'll see it on film.
Go ahead, right over here, Coach.
Greg, point blank, how do you process this and move forward after a game like this?
Well, you got to turn the page. I mean, we will come back and practice and everything tomorrow and prep for Washington. You can't sit here and feel sorry for yourself. You know, it doesn't sit well with everybody, and because you know, we beat ourselves for the most part, and you know, we haven't done that. I don't know if we've done that all year. So you know, to be able to rebound and bounce back, and fortunately this isn't like football where you have to sit 7 days, wait for your next game. We're going to play again on Tuesday night, and you know, get it out of our system and improve the areas that we need to improve.
Got one more for Coach. Jim,
Greg,
go
you
ahead.
mentioned Biddle. He got some pretty deep touches. I know some of that maybe is on Steve and Nate, and some of it on ball pressure. Was it a little bit of everything going wrong there?
A little bit. I mean, we're trying to stay attached with shooters too, and not give up kick out threes. Yeah, I mean, they went to him obviously in that left block area for the most part. We talked about ball pressure in the first half. I'll watch through the film and see what it was, you know, in the second half. But you know, the jump hooks he made, you know, that's his strength. I mean, at that size, and to be able to get that off, you know, you need a little bit of pick your poison with that. But again, what got us in trouble was the completely kind of taking our foot off the gas offensively for whatever reason.